Okay, so let's give this a shot together. Essentially, I'm going to start from having nothing here and nothing in here, and then we can work on this together. So we have a blank screen. Let's start off with a header. So this is, say, Harry's car dealership. Then below, I think I'm going to put in H3. These are the models we currently have. And then I'm just going to have an empty paragraph here with an ID of car models. Okay, so that's because I know that we want to take something from JavaScript and populate the models that we have. So this is already connected with the JavaScript to the JavaScript. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to create. So what I was saying for the requirements of this practical is that there needs to be some way in which we have a list of all of the available models, and then that could be outputted into the HTML. So if we want a list of something, sounds like an array would be the best thing. So we can do var car models, or let's go for available models, equals, and then we use the square brackets, and then let's add them in here. So I don't know, BMW, Ford, Ferrari, and Aston Martin. Okay, cool. So we now have a list. So obviously what we want to do to get all of the available makes in here, each of the different elements, we want to be able to get those out and add them to something else. So what we want to be doing is actually getting each one of these and then adding it to, I don't know, like a paragraph or something that can just be outputted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a var called paragraph, just para, and then I'm going to make it as an empty string, so that then we can start to add each of these into the string. Because if we just outputted our array, then it wouldn't be the same. So what we'll do is we'll go for for loop. So we'll go for I, and as always is equal to 0. And we want it to be less than the length of the array. So we're going to do available models dot length, and then we're just going to add 1 each time. So for each time, so basically what we're saying is go through each of these and do something. And the do something we'll put in here. And all we have to do is put para, because we want to add whatever element we want to add it to the para. So we can use para plus equals, and then available models, and use I for the index. And for now, let's just alert on that. So what you will see is each time, the first alert will just be BMW, the second one will be BMW Ford, etc., etc. So we get BMW, BMW Ford, Ferrari, Aston Martin. So we can see each time we're outputting it that the para is just adding on new ones of these. Obviously, I think it'd be nicer if we could have a bit of space in between those. So I'm going to say it's that plus, and then let's have an empty space. So that when we reset this now, perfect. At least it has space in between it. So instead of alerting now that we know that that's working, what we can do is we know that at the end of this for loop, para is going to contain everything in this array. So now afterwards what we could do is we could say, okay, now let's get that paragraph we were talking about, document.getElementById. I can't remember what it was called, car models. And we'll change the inner HTML to be para. So what we should see, yeah, these are all appearing now. And I'd quite like to have them like one after the other. So I'm going to change this to contain line break. You may remember line breaks from our HTML lectures. Excellent. So now what we're doing is we're basically, to this para, we're adding one of these, and then we're adding a line break. and then at the end of it we're putting it all, we're changing the inner HTML, so it all appears like this. So just to review what we've done here, actually what I'm going to show you is that this is why it's cool, because if we had have just gone into the HTML and changed the paragraphs, then each time we wanted to change it, we'd have to go in there and add more paragraphs, blah blah blah. But let's say we were maintaining this website and they said, okay, we want you to add another one, like a Peugeot. I don't know how to spell Peugeot, but you know, so you literally just have to add it to this array, boom, and it's just going to keep on going like that. So that's why this is so useful. So what we've done is we created an array, and then we created a variable for an empty string. Then using a for loop, what we did, so stating the variable starting at 0, and then the condition was just it has to be less than the overall length, because this is index 0, not 1. And then we added 1 each time this has been completed, and we've basically just added to this empty string each of the different elements as we go through the indexes and a line break. And this is what we have at the end of it. So hopefully that makes sense to you. That's an introduction to for loops, which are, as I say, really, really important. So do have a go at practicing those. And we'll be going over while loops very soon as well. So I'll see you in the next lecture.